This is a painting by premier artist and legend of Canadian art, Tom Thomson, from 1914 to about 1916. He did a series of these works. This one in particular is called Pine Island, Georgian Bay. It's very close, very near and dear to my heart. It's from an area that's relatively close to where I live. And growing up in Canada, especially as someone who is artistically inclined as myself, you tend to see this over and over again to the point where it's on posters and doctors' offices, so on and so forth. This one is an oil sketch he did in preparation for the larger canvas works, doing it en plein air or in the open air outside, called Evening Pine Island. And you could tell that he was doing this right in the evening, right before dawn. And this was done around 1914 and becomes a very integral preliminary sketch for the later larger works. What's so fascinating about Tom Thomson is the aura or the mystique around him, especially around his canoe and around his unfortunate passing in Algonquin Park. Nobody ever found his body, and he was swallowed into nature the way that he would venture off into nature as sort of a beggar, as sort of a vagabond, furabu, a Zen wanderer, as they say in Japan or in Zen Buddhism. And thus being on the margins of society and painting in very rugged conditions that was equally matched by the rigidity and the ruggedness of his brushstrokes, Pine Island represents a total break from a more traditional European style of impressionistic painting to something that would become uniquely Canadian, something more abstract, less realistic, something that was align with the realism of, say, Gustave Courbet, which is realism in the sense of that immediate sensuous engagement with the natural world, as opposed to a very academic and tight style of painting that is a similitude to nature. And so that painting, the larger works, but also his plein air studies, created the body of Canadian art that would be defined for a century. To this day, as a landscape painter in Canada, I live in the shadow of the Group of Seven, to which Tom Thomson was integral. And if you want to learn more about the Group of Seven, I have an extended, almost 4 hours, if you go to the Patreon or the Substack for the full episode, full 4-hour episode on Canadian art and the Group of Seven, link down below.